Hey everybody, this is Stacy. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make these super cute, super easy pop and slide gift card holders. These are so great, and you can use your leftover scraps that you had from all of your Christmas projects to make these. So I'm calling these a pop and slide because they're kind of a combination of a pop-up card and a slider, as you can see, and there's a couple different angles. And once you get your base built, you can decorate these however you want. So come on over to the craft table with me and let's get started. So you're going to need 3 pieces of cardstock cut out to these measurements: 8 1/2 by 3 1/8, 6 1/2 by 3 1/8, and 2 1/8 by 1 inch. So that first piece, that larger piece there, the 8.5 long inch piece, I'm going to call that the cover. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put that cover piece in your scoreboard long ways, so the 8.5 is up at the top, and you're just going to score that right down the center at 4 1/4. So if you don't have a scoreboard for this, all you have to do is fold that in half. Then we're going to take our second piece, the 6.5 inch piece. I'm calling that the pop-up piece, and we are going to score that at 1 5/8, 3 1/4, and 4 7/8. And I will try to remember to leave the measurements, all the measurements and everything for this in the description box below. So if you don't have a scoreboard, again, this is super easy. You want to fold it in half, and this is 4 equal pieces, and just take the ends and fold them up towards that center peak there. You want a small little accordion fold, basically, with one large peak in the middle. That last little piece there I'm calling the hinge. So at the 1/2 inch mark, just score that straight down the center long ways. And if you don't have a scoreboard, just fold it in half. Super easy, right? Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take that pop-up piece. And you can see me fiddling. Oops, grab the wrong one. Okay, there's our pop-up. You're going to flip that upside down so your peak is actually facing downwards or laying on your craft mat. That center score line is facing downwards. And I'm going to zoom in here in a minute and show you exactly what I'm doing. But you're going to grab a ruler and a pencil. You're going to line your ruler up on the edge of that, and on top of that score mark, you're going to make a line from the 1/2 inch mark to the 2 5/8 mark. Now you can take your craft knife and you can either freehand cut this or you can use a straight edge like I'm doing, and you're going to cut that mark that you just made. If you forget to flip it over, it's no big deal. The only reason I said to flip it over is so you don't have to erase your pencil mark later. Nobody will see it because it'll be on the underside. And there you go. Now at this point, it's probably a good idea to test fit your gift card. I didn't do that, and you'll see that in a minute. So now you're going to take your cover piece and measuring 1 1/2 inch from the edge inwards. You'll line your ruler up there. You're just going to draw a mark, and you're going to do that on both sides. And those are your guidelines for where your pop-up is going to go. So now for our hinge. We're going to take our little hinge piece, and we're going to put some adhesive, any kind of adhesive you have. If you want to use glue, that's fine, tape runner, whatever you have. I'm going to put some adhesive on one of the sides there. And you're just going to eyeball that, putting that in the center of your card vertically, just to the right of that score mark. You don't want it on top of the score mark. You want it just to the right of the score mark. And set that down. And the reason why is if you put it on your score mark, your card's going to have a hard time closing. But you can see there, it's just to the right of the score line. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to flip that piece over again, your pop-up piece over, and put some adhesive on that flap. Just a couple spots, one at the very end and then a spot on the outside of that score mark. It's very important it goes on the outside, because if you put it on the inside of that last score line on either side of it, it's not going to pop up. And you can see there what I'm talking about. That outside flap there on the other side of the score line there. Now take your pop-up piece and you're going to line it up with those guidelines that we made. And, make sure it's straight. And we're going to do that on both sides. And that's it. That's the base of your card. So fold it all up and burnish it down real good. And I'm going to show you a side view. You'll see your hinge there in a minute. There you go. It should look like that when you're finished. So this is the point where I figured out, I forgot to test fit the card before I put it in. And it was a little tight. I thought that I was going to rip the paper, but it made it in. It made it in okay. So your card's going to stand up inside, your gift card, is going to stand up inside the card like that, and your hinge will hold it down. And I'll show you in a bit how that works. So to decorate the card, I decided I was going to round those corners. And man, I have been having trouble with my corner rounder lately. My good one died. I had to buy a new one. That one is not working the way I want it. So I got out the envelope punch board, and that needs to be sharpened apparently because it's leaving little bits behind. I don't know. If y'all have a recommendation on that, let me know. But what I'm doing here is on my pattern paper, I'm just rounding the corners on the one edge. Or I should say the one side, 2 corners on one side, I should say. And so you can decorate this any way you want to. These are scraps that I had left over from last year's Christmas projects that I made. They're from the Tim Holtz Christmas paper line that he came out with last year. So I save all my little bits and pieces because you never know when they're going to come in handy for something like this. So I decided to use the buffalo plaid on the outside of the cover, and then on the little flaps, and then on the pop-up I used the pattern that was on the other side of that paper. But like I said, sky's the limit. You can do whatever you want. You can use all the same kind of paper. You can use 10 different kinds of paper. That's up to you. There's no limit to creativity here. So, and everybody needs gift cards this time of year. Usually most people buy at least one gift card. And, why should we buy like a gift card holder? We can make them ourselves. We make things and we're good at it, darn it. So we're going to make our own gift card holders. Also, if you look around on YouTube, there are a few different styles of gift card holders. So you could really impress your friends and family. You could make one of different styles and all kinds of different paper and just blow everybody away. So I am just using my tape runner to put my pattern paper in there. And again, glue is fine, but I'll tell you what, or any kind of tape runner. It doesn't have to be an ATG. Those small tape runners work great for a project like this. And it just makes it so much quicker than waiting for the glue to dry. But if that's all you have, then use it, do it. Use what you got. That's what I say. Okay, so now it's time. We're going to put our gift card down in there. So I have these Scotch glue dots, and I don't use them very, or they're adhesive dots rather, but I don't use them very often, but they come in handy when I do. And we're going to pull a glue dot out of there, and I'm going to stick that in the center of that hinge that we put down in there. Now glue dots have plastic backings. So if you're using something like this, yeah, you could have totally put that glue dot on before you put your pop-up in the middle. I didn't think of that till later. Then you're going to slide your card in, and you're just going to push that hinge down, get it good and stuck using that glue dot. And there you go. Then you can finish the rest of your decorating. I got out some more of my little scrappy bits, some little leftovers from Christmas, and started mulling through there, or from last Christmas, I should say. Started mulling through there for different pieces of things to put on my card. For this card, I decided I was going to do a belly band to hold it closed. You're going to need something to hold these closed. I mean, you could do anything. You could use belly bands, you could use jute, you could use baker's twine, you could use a little clip, however you feel like doing it. But for this one, I did a belly band around the center. And then I thought I'd take Santa there and stick him over the top, because that's a cute little image. But I only put the tape on the top and the bottom of that picture. I am all for reusing things. So if someone decides they want to put different, they want to reuse this again, and they can just slip the belly band out from underneath Santa, and inside just put new labels with their people's names on them and reuse it. So these are the finished cards that I did. Only needed to make 3 this year. And of course, that's the one you saw in the tutorial. And I added a few things to it. There's a little label on the back for the recipient's name. There is a larger label in the inside cover, so you can write a little sentiment and who it's from. And then also another smaller label there on the back to write the amount of the gift card. Now this one I made out of one of those green hanging file folders, and I kind of wanted to look like a package that has traveled a little bit. So I did the old, fashion string tie closure on the front. And it's pretty much the same on the inside. Different gift card, different color paper. And it's about 2 3/4 inches longer, in case you're wondering how I did that flap. And then you saw the other one in the beginning. And thanks so much, you guys, for watching. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial, and I'll see you back here real soon. Bye.